Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bad mail.
Now
Thank
let's
you.
start the show.
Thank you.
What's the deal with age? It's like a number with the ground. It's just that with age, I feel like we're almost never the correct age. We're never the age that like we want to be, right? Because when you're young, you're like, oh man, I'm not old enough to do stuff like, vote or drink or smoke or look at porn. Because when they ask me when I go to the site, I of course have been 18 since I was at least 13, so I couldn't possibly lie. But that was the only one I did, I guess, if that means anything. And I turned out, don't look at porn, kids. But like not kids. Kids aren't watching this because this isn't for kids. I mean, they can watch it, okay? It's not age gated, but it's not for you, okay? I'm not doing this for you, okay? Remember that, YouTube. Don't try to fucking fuck me on this. It's not for them or you. I'm not doing this for... Well, I kind of am because it's on your platform. But just don't fuck me, okay? Don't fuck... I look like me. You don't want somebody to know that you fucked me. That's the kind of thing you're like... anyone finds out, you're like, shit. YouTube's like, I was drunk. And they're like, but like, it's Sam. It's like, I was really drunk. Like, I was drunk, and it was drugs, and I had been isolated for like 3 years in a box. So, things happened. He had, I was blindfolded, and like I just thought of anything else. It just happened. I don't know. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm sorry. That was a hell of a night. But like, genuinely forgot what my episode is. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, the young old thing. So I guess it's like when you're young, there's a lot of stuff you want to be able to do, but you can't do because you're too young. And everyone's telling you, like, you'll understand when you're older, you're too young for that, whatever. And then you get older, and it's just like, you're too old to be doing that. You're like fucking too old, you're old. You don't feel like you're that old. Everyone's like, kids are like, man, you're fucking old. And like, old people are like, man, you're fucking young. And you're just always in a constant spot of like, you're the wrong age for anything you try to access, because everyone's like, nah, man, you don't understand me, because where I am at my age is way different than where you are. So you're too old and you're too young, and you're even we're the same age. Like, you're a few days off. Fuck you, man. Like, you don't understand what it was like back in my few days when I was born, when you weren't there and I was there, and it was different, man. You're weird. I'm the regular one. I'm fucking the bar. I'm the average person, bitch. And like, it's weird. And I think the only reason I guess I really think about this too is that I am at the point where I'm like kind of in the middle. I don't know what's considered middle age. I don't think 30 is middle aged. I have to look that up. I guess if I only live to 60, it could be. But I don't think that's. I feel like it's usually what is it, like 40s or 50s or something is middle age. I don't even know what technically counts as that. But like, I just notice it in like, it's weird to be like people being like, oh yeah, I remember when I was a little kid and I was I was playing my, my Wii U, and it was like, oh Jesus, that came out like when I was in college. But then it's also, there's people who are like, yeah, older than me are like, yeah, I mean, I remember when, like, our TV didn't have colors and there was, like, 3 channels. You're like, oh, that sounds awful. That sounds like, I mean, I would still watch it all day probably, but, like, that sounds less good than what this is now. And very different. And so, like, it's just weird that I'm in kind of the spot right now where I do kind of feel like, if anything, I'm sort of the desirable age of, like, you can do, like, all the shit you want to do, pretty much, that you're, able to do, that you realistically could do, probably. And, well, I mean, there's me, squandering it away, still doing YouTube shit, and, like, nothing with my life, really. But, like, it at least feels kind of, like, interesting to be, like, like, I don't feel like I'm particularly young, but I don't feel like I'm particularly old yet, either. And so, I guess it is all really relative, but I think in terms of, like, where people generally want to be, I'm kind of in that age bracket of, like, this is when things are like, yeah, I'm at a peak. Things are gonna start going downhill later. But things have come a ways from where they were. So, like, I don't know. It's interesting thing. And also, like, I don't know. The weird, like, look around that where it's like, man, like, you'll understand when you're older. When you're as old as me, you can do whatever. Which is always a confusing saying of, like, do you mean, like, when I'm as old as you are right now, your age right now? Or do you mean, like, when I'm actually the same age as you, which I will never be? Because, like, that's also a thing, right? Where, like, well, not as young as I used to be. Well, no, nobody is as young as they used to be, because you'd be that currently. Before you were younger. And back then you weren't as young as you were before that. Time is linear. It's just such a meaningless thing to say, right? It's like, man, I'm not as old as I'm gonna be. Like, of course not. What a stupid thing to say. I just wanted to get that in there, because I almost forgot that line along with my entire video topic after my weird rant. That legally we can't prove happened, but, like, YouTube and I both know definitely happened, okay? Like, you don't forget all of this, okay? This is as much as I can gesture to my body, because I have framed myself in this way. But there's plenty more down here, okay? And it's curvy, and it's hot. I don't think it's thick. I don't know if I would want to call it thick. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I know I'm not monetized anyway, but I haven't been demonetized either. So, like, I think we all know what's happening right now. Definitely I do. And can you imagine how fucking weird these episodes would be if I did do drugs? I'd get loopy off of doing, like, 5 episodes in a row, fucking sober. Imagine if I'm like, I want to do some drugs on top of this. And it would just be like, there would be no coherence at all. You wouldn't even I would watch it back later and be like, I don't even know what the fuck I was thinking, and I did that yesterday. Like, I don't know. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't, kids who aren't watching, because this isn't for you. What's the deal with